After the Titanic, if people trusted any ship, it was the MV Explorer. It was the world's first cruise ship specifically designed to sail through icy waters. Its performance was so remarkable that it even held a record for rescuing other vessels in Antarctica. But on the night of November 23, 2007, something happened in the dark and desolate Southern Ocean that left the ship abandoned in the middle of nowhere. Even the captain had no other choice. Welcome back, viewers, to our channel. Back in the 1960s, traveling to Antarctica by sea was almost impossible. The region was filled with ice, and for a regular ship, entering those waters was a death sentence. But a Swedish-American businessman named Lars-Erik Lindblad saw this as a challenge. He set out to build a ship that could icily navigate the frozen waters of Antarctica, so that ordinary people could fulfill their dream of seeing this mysterious icy continent. That's how the Lindblad Explorer was born. A ship 240 feet long and weighing over 2,300 tons. Although smaller than historic vessels like the Titanic or RMS Olympic, it was incredibly strong. It was the first cruise ship made solely for touring Antarctica's icy waters. Normally, ships entering icy regions require an icebreaker to clear the path ahead. But the Explorer was a Class 1A ice-strengthened ship designed to crush ice under its own weight. No icebreaker needed. The ship could accommodate 104 passengers and 54 crew members, and came with all the luxurious facilities of a modern cruise, because it was made specifically for icy conditions. The ship's hull had a double layer for extra protection against the Antarctic ice. As soon as it launched, the ship gained global fame. People from around the world lined up to sail to Antarctica aboard the Explorer. Initially named Lindblad Explorer, it changed ownership several times until 2004, when a Toronto-based travel company, Gap Adventures, bought it and renamed it the MV Explorer. No one could have guessed that this legendary ship would never change hands again, because something tragic was about to happen. By 2007, the MV Explorer had completed 250 successful Antarctic voyages. But in November of that year, the ship was preparing for a journey it would never return from. The MV Explorer was all set for a 19-day expedition beginning from Ushuaia, Argentina, passing through the Falkland Islands, South Georgia Island, and finally reaching Antarctica. November 11, 2007, 100 passengers and 54 crew members set off on what they thought would be another beautiful voyage to the frozen South. Everything was going smoothly, until it wasn't. The ship's captain, 49-year-old Bengt Wyman, was a seasoned navigator with thousands of hours at sea, especially in icy waters. His vast experience made everyone on board feel safe. But in Antarctica, no amount of experience can prepare you for the ever-changing and unpredictable ice conditions. At the beginning of the journey, Captain Wyman made a surprising decision. He chose to divert the ship from its original route to take a new path. He believed this might help them avoid heavier ice regions and make the trip safer. The first 10 days of the voyage went as planned, but on the evening of November 22nd, as the sun was setting and passengers were heading back to their cabins, the MV Explorer entered a particularly icy region. The captain made an announcement, informing everyone that they were passing through heavy ice and would likely hear loud noises as the ship collided with it. Because of the darkness, he reduced the ship's speed to 5 knots, about 10 kilometers per hour. Slowly, the vessel was moving from thin ice into much thicker and older layers. The captain didn't realize how dangerous the situation had become. It was already 10 p.m. Visibility was poor. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, there was a loud crash. The ship jolted to a halt. At first, passengers thought it was part of the expected noise, so most of them ignored it and stayed in bed. The captain managed to get the ship moving again, and it resumed breaking through the ice. But what no one, not even the captain, realized was that the ship's hull had been punctured, and water had started to slowly seep in. Passengers woke up only when water began flooding their cabins. Since the cabins were on the lower deck, water reached them first. Panic spread quickly. Everyone was scrambling to save their lives. Water was now entering the ship from every possible opening. Light switches, duct vents, even through door cracks. By the time the captain realized what was happening, several cabins were already submerged. At first, he believed the damage might be minor and could be contained. But when water pressure continued to rise, he understood that the situation was out of control. He gave the immediate order to abandon ship and deploy all lifeboats. Though the ship had cleared the worst of the ice, it was now tilting heavily due to accumulated water. Crew members rushed to evacuate the passengers. The ship was only 46 kilometers from its destination, but reaching it with a damaged vessel was now impossible. On top of that, the Southern Ocean is not only full of ice, but also extremely cold. Spending too long in lifeboats wasn't an option either, so the captain sent out SOS signals to nearby ships. 2 ships received the distress call, National Geographic Endeavour and Nordnorg, but they were still far away. Meanwhile, water reached the separator room, the area housing all the ship's machinery. As it flooded, the entire ship lost electricity. Now stranded in the pitch-black middle of the Antarctic, the MV Explorer was completely at the mercy of the waves. The engines were off. The ship had no power. The captain was not only worried about the evacuation, but also feared that strong winds might push the powerless vessel back into the dangerous ice fields. With no electrical control, engineers tried to restart the engines manually, and luckily, it worked. The crew sped up the evacuation. In just a short while, all the passengers boarded for lifeboats and entered the freezing ocean. A few crew members and the captain stayed behind, trying to stabilize the ship. The engines failed again. Now, the ship was sinking fast. The captain had no choice but to evacuate as well. Over 150 people were now huddled in lifeboats, exposed to the freezing Antarctic winds, hoping for rescue. They waited for 4 long hours in the bitter cold before the Nordnorg finally arrived. All passengers and crew were safely rescued. But the MV Explorer was doomed to sink. An investigation later revealed that the disaster was caused by Captain Wyman's mistake. He had assumed the ice was new and thin, but it was actually a thick multi-year layer. Today, the wreck of the MV Explorer rests 1,300 meters beneath the sea. It's about 25 miles southeast of Penguin Island. We hope you enjoyed this video on our channel. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Your support means everything to us. We'll see you in the next fascinating story.